supporters do not care that he's Igbo, just like Tinubu supporters do not care about age. Me too. It is no longer news that the presidential candidate of the APC, Bola Tinubu, has returned to Nigeria after a 152 days vacation in London. His vacation raises concern about his health status among Nigerians that felt he should be around to sign the peace accord, just like the other presidential candidates. Well, not surprising. Nigerians have been reacting to his absence and arrival. One of such is a former aide to President Goodluck Jonathan, Olisa Metu, who narrates how he cautioned a young friend of his from mocking Tinubu's health on social media. He said the majority of his supporters of Tinubu and Atiku are not concerned about their age and ethnicity, just like the way Peter Obi is less concerned about him being Igbo and soft-spoken, quoting Metu said. Wow. Majority of those sold on Peter Obi's new deal on governance do not care that he's Igbo or he is too soft-spoken, just as Atiku and Tinubu supporters do not care about age or ethnicity. Only an issue-based campaign can cut it now. There are far too many positives to speak about these best sets of presidential candidates in recent times. Nigerians need to be educated on their different views on policies and programs and need for national rebirth and growth. So obviously, what he posted was that he had, 24 hours ago, he had a call with a young friend of his and cautioned him to stop mocking Bola Tinubu's health. And I think we need to understand, first of all, stating facts, again, on social media, people do tend to go over the line when talking about these things. But hey, who's to be the adjudicator of social media interactions? Anyways, Bola Tinubu's health, factually, from what we have even seen, there's evidence to show that even whilst he's in public, we can have suspicions. Again, this is somebody who has sometimes dozed off or spaced out, or has been incoherent with his speech. So you can't blame Nigerians for their suspicions because, well, you'd find that he's not been consistent. I mean, he struggled to hold a flag for his party. At some point, he has tripped. At some point, so it's. I mean, if things happen once, fine, but if it's a constant thing, it's not helping, and it's not the first time we would have concerns about his health. Atiku, that is older than Tinubu, looks more healthy than him. So I think it's a problem. I believe it kind of is a problem to actually talk about his health. It is an issue, and of course, talking about it does not mean we're mocking him. And I don't think it is right to compare age as a pro. I mean, obviously these are factors to the ideal presidential candidate, but you can't compare age and ethnicity. Why? Because again, if, for example, Atiku turns out to be a crowd favorite, for example, I don't think we will talk about his age, because what we're also looking for is ability. I mean, yes, there's an argument of over time, the political space has just been, older men, not even just older men, or men who have just refused to retire. Why do you want to be in the political space for over 30 years? That is a problem. If you are specializing in a field or something else, that is great. But for you to specialize in politics that is meant to be democratic, that is meant to be constantly changing and evolving, and you want to, that's the thing. If you're going to be in that space, we also expect you to evolve. But look at the example of Buhari. I mean, he was head of state at some point, and now look at him now. Not that he's not able to be in this space, but he has not shown his growth or involvement. So it doesn't really make sense. But yes, talking about Peter Obi's ethnicity, I mean, in fact, that has been more than Tinubu's age. If we exclude the fact that Tinubu may not necessarily be as popular in terms of like crowd favoritism, on the perspective of the youth, if you then look at the criticisms, I mean, Peter Obi has gone through a lot, from his ethnicity, in terms of other parties understanding the equity and fairness in rotational presidency, whereby really it is the turn of the Igbos, if we're really going to say that. But ethnicity has been a major factor, because there is no way, after going through, if you look at it as a clock, so you go through every political or ethnicity in the country, and then when it comes to the southeast, you automatically want to go back to the north. The clock doesn't work like that. You don't have the clock, going from 6 p.m. or going all the way from 12 a.m. midnight 2, 6 a.m. in the morning, and then when it's already hits 12, it decides to skip 12 and then go back to 6. It doesn't make sense. So I think that in itself is a problem. So comparing the two at that, at the same way Nigerians don't care about Peter Obi's ethnicity, the same way they do, that Tinubu supporters don't care about their age. Well, that's not a solid argument to actually find similarity between the two, because Peter Obi being equipped and actually good, he just happens to be Igbo. But then again, it is also fair that he's Igbo. I think he's just the perfect candidate for equity, justice, competence, everything. If he's the candidate that if he wins, you've really got, we can say, okay, fine, maybe we've got a kind of fair system, and it does make sense. And then obviously we don't even have, the luxury of options. Now, if you look at competence across the board, yes, you shouldn't look at ethnicity, but if they happen to be Igbo and be good at what they do, well, you can't really say anything else, can you? But of course, looking at Tinubu and Atiku, they just cannot be compared in terms of, their acceptance and just the way they carry themselves in public and how they appeal to their supporters. It's just not the same. Always evaluate the message and not the messenger. What he said makes a lot of sense to sensible people, not fools. It seems to make sense, but it really doesn't, because we understand that these two factors, age and ethnicity, have played different roles with different outcomes. With age, we have not seen in Nigeria's history violence occur out of somebody's age because they weren't accepted because of their age. But we have seen for sure, because of this ethnicity of a thing, a particular one being the Igbos, for example, being targeted by the Nigerian government, and of course, given the history of the Biafran genocide, because that's really what it is, it has just brought about the different outcomes for the Igbo people. So you can't compare these two factors. Yes, in terms of, if these two should be considered and should be cared about, well, I think none of them should. But when it's context, right, you can also argue on the part of age that Nigerians are tired of old men, not even just old men, but old men that refuse to evolve, still holding on to being in power. Aside from the whole godfatherism or the hand that we cannot see, it's like, well, the ones that cannot be seen now want to be seen. And it's like, well, leave it to Nigerians to decide. And I think these old men have been in politics for the longest time, literally without the consent of Nigerians, well, being, fairly voted in. So what can you really say? So personally, I just don't believe that these two arguments, I don't think they are solid, because age and ethnicity in our context and given our history have just provided different outcomes, and age has not provided negative outcomes on the level of which ethnicity has. Put what you think about it in the comment section below, and do not forget to like and subscribe.